hormones. These hormones regulate the synthesis and the secretion of pituitary hormones. Uh,
Okay.
the hormones produced by the hypothalamus are of two types. One are the uh, releasing hormones, which give the signal to the pituitary, pituitary,
Pituitary. Pituitary.
pituitary. The first step is the releasing hormone, which gives the signal to the pituitary gland in order to release its hormones. And the second is the inhibiting hormone, which gives the signal to the pituitary gland to stop the release of the hormones. For example, gonadotrophic uh, is a
So
type of
basically,
hormone.
gonadotrophin, these are the releasing hormones, and somatostatin,
Somatostatin.
it is the inhibiting hormone, right?
Yes, yes,
These all hormones, then when they are released, like gonadotropin releasing hormones, somatostatin, they reach the pituitary gland through a circulatory system which is called as portal circulatory system. And the name of this portal system is hypophyseal. The portal system which is present in the hypothalamus, it is known as hypophyseal portal system. It basically regulates the function of anterior pituitary only. The posterior pituitary is under the direct regulation. It doesn't need these kind of messages, right? This page is clear?
yes.
Now, this diagram again, I have shown you over there also, it is very, very important. You
Important.
can be asked to label the anterior part and the posterior part. You can see that the posterior pituitary is under the direct regulation of the hypothalamus, while in the case of anterior pituitary, it sends its hormones. Now, again, please explain me about the pituitary gland. What do you know about the pituitary gland?
Yes, Tishla.
Yes, please explain me.
So basically, the pituitary gland is located in a bony cavity known as the sella turcica, and is attached to the hypothalamus by a stalk. It is divided into the adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. The adenohypophysis is divided into two portions, the pars distalis and the pars intermedia. In the pars distalis region, many hormones are produced, such as growth hormone, prolactin, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, then thyroid stimulating hormone, and adenocorticotropic hormone. Uh,
Basically, you must know that six hormones are there from
yes,
the pars distalis, right? And only one is there from intermedia. Only one hormone is there from
it's
intermedia, that is melanocyte stimulating hormone, right?
it's
Then the neurohypophysis is known as the posterior pituitary, which releases two hormones. Can you name the two hormones which are released from the posterior pituitary?
Oxytocin and vasos
It is oxytocin. Oxytocin,
oxytocin.
right? Oxytocin and vasopressin. Again, they are synthesized by the hypothalamus. They are transported to the posterior pituitary, right? Now,
Right.
we have done some abnormalities of these hormones. So I have told you when there is an excess secretion of the growth hormone, then what can happen? In the case of adults, what is the condition called?
Gigantism. Excess gigantism, and for a minimal output of the hormone will be dwarfism.
Okay, very good. Then what is the function of prolactin?
For the growth of the mammary glands and the production of milk in the mammary glands.
Very good. The formation of milk, right? The formation of the milk is by prolactin. Then TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, it is going and stimulating the thyroid gland, right? It is going and activating the thyroid gland. It is telling the thyroid gland when it has to work. Then we have adrenocorticotrophin hormone, which are again released from the hypothalamus. And now what they will do, they will stimulate the synthesis and secretion of steroid hormones. Steroid hormones from the adrenal cortex, right? Do you remember?
Yes, yes, I remember.
Right? Then for the, you must know that whenever we talk about the gonads, LH and FSH are there. What is the full form of LH and FSH?
Luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone.
Right? So they both are there in the humans. They are responsible for the development of the gonads. In the males, what they are doing, they are secreting androgens from the testes. Right? In the males, they are all, and FSH is regulating spermatogenesis. Right? So for males, it is for males, they require a hormone known as androgens that is important for the testis development, and it is done by gonadotrophins. And again, the developing of the cells like the sperms and all, the spermatogenesis is being controlled by FSH. In the case of females, LH, luteinizing hormone, you might have heard about the menstruation cycle in the girls. After every 28 days, there is a ovulation cycle. So this ovulation of the fully mature follicles, it is possible only with the help of luteinizing hormone. Do you remember?
Yes, yes,
No doubt,
no doubt.
right?
Yes.
Now, again, I told you about the LH that it is helping in the ovulation. The size of the ovary, the cells of the ovary, it is estimated by the follicle stimulating cells. Even the cells, they are called as primary follicles, secondary follicles, and when they are fully grown, they are known as tertiary follicles. Right? Then, what is the work of MSH hormone?
The work of the MSH hormone.
Yeah,
Basically, the formation of melanocytes.
very good. So basically, they act on the cells and they regulate the pigmentation. You might have seen there is a pigmentation problem in many of the people. So it is because due to of this hormone. Then oxytocin has two very important work to do. It acts on the smooth muscles of the body at the time of the labor pain, which stimulates parturition. Can you tell me what is parturition? What is parturition?
Basically, the baby is being pushed out of the female.
Very good. The basically the pushing out of the baby. So basically these muscles are being pushed with the help of oxytocin. If the girl is not able to push the baby, usually she's been given these injections so that it is possible, right? Then for milk production, it was prolactin hormone, but for milk ejection, which hormone is there? Which hormone do we have for milk ejection?
Uh, Milk ejection. Not sure. I can't.
Oxytocin.
Oh,
Oxytocin has two work to do. It has to push the baby also and it has to eject the milk also, right? Then vasopressin, what it is doing? It is stimulating the reabsorption of water and electrolytes by the tubules. And thus it is known as antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone means it just maintains how much water is there. Is that clear?
clear.
The person who are not able to control it, what is the deficiency called?
I got efficiency.
The people in whom this hormone called vasopressin is not working properly. What are they suffering from?
They kidney failure.
If a person is going toilet multiple times, it's not kidney failure, no. It's diabetes insipidus, right?
Right,
Kidney
right.
failure is a last term, right? Like you might
Yes.
have heard that there are many people who say that I'm not able to hold the toilet. Like usually we are able to hold the toilet for half an hour or something like that. But there are many people, and even usually the average time for urine is between 2 to 3 hours. But you might have seen that people go after every half an hour, something like that, right? So that means either their bladder is not working or some other issue is there, right? So they can have this problem. Then what is the function of the pineal gland?
No, it's right. I can't see the screen.
You can't see the screen?
No, sure that glitch is happening again. Just 1 second. Ma'am, I just joined from the phone. Uh,
What happened?
And the screen is actually flickering completely and it's gone blank. Seems to
So
be some
it might be that you can rejoin. It might be some network issue from your side, Neil.
it's not about
the laptop is this seems to be a problem with the laptop, not the network. Laptop is flickering the screen of the
Okay,
laptop.
okay.
So
Okay,
I
okay.
think he will have to shut the laptop down and we will have
Okay,
to restart it. Yeah, yeah. Just give
okay.
us we should do a long press.
Yeah, sir, I've joined back.
We were discussing about the pineal gland. Right now, I told you about the pineal gland. We have done about the melatonin, right? Now we will do about the pineal gland. It secretes melatonin. Very important. Like how do we decide that it is day and we have to sleep only 8 hours and now we have to wake up? So that means there must be some hormone which is responsible for our sleep and wake, right? The most important
Right.
gland,
Right.
the pineal gland, right?
Hmm. Yes.
Now, in addition to this, it also affects our metabolism, our pigmentation, the cycle, and the defense capability. These are the external, or I can say the extra works which it can do. Now, the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland, it is very important. You can be asked what are the name of the two hormones or what are the which nutrient is essential. Can you tell me which nutrient is essential for thyroid gland?
For thyroid gland, iodine.
Right?
Yes.
Iodine is essential, right? And then whenever we talk about the thyroid gland, we must always talk about the two hormones. If there is anyone who is a thyroid patient at your place, suppose in your family or anywhere, you will see that whenever he goes for a thyroid test, he has to undergo three tests like T3 test and T4 test, right? So T4 and T3 both levels are checked when a person goes for a thyroid test, and the person who is having a deficiency of iodine, they suffer from which disease? Which
Goiter.
disease? Goiter or hypothyroidism, right? And
Oh,
then what are the basically symptoms? You must know the person is quietly mentally retarded, and the basic most important is his basal metabolic ratio is very low, right? Means always he feels quite less energetic, he feels always tired, right? Now,
yes.
we can have a severity of thyroid case also, like we can have a cancer and we can have a very bad condition. Then you can be asked, name the disease in which the eyeballs get protruded. I remember I told you on that day. What is that disease called? जिसमें बंदे की जो आंख होती है ना एकदम बड़ी बड़ी बाहर की जैसी आ जाती हैं. You might have seen देयर मीन्स इट इज ऑल्सो वेरी कॉमन. आंखें एकदम बड़ी बड़ी बाहर आ जाए, जो व्हाइट वाला पार्ट है वो अजीब सा निकला हुआ रहता है. व्हाट इज दैट कंडीशन कॉल्ड?
Graves disease.
ग्रेव्स डिजीज. वेरी गुड. सो यू मस्ट नो दैट मीन्स कुछ ही चीजें हैं जिसमें उनके सिम्टम्स आते हैं, राइट? इन एवरीवेयर यू डोंट हैव टू लर्न द सिम्टम्स, लेकिन हाँ, प्रोट्रूजन ऑफ द आई बॉल्स, it is the grave disease. Like I told you that for thyroid hormones, you must know basal metabolic rate is very, very important at what you are eating and how much energy is getting generated, right? Then it secretes one another hormone which is known as thyrocalcitonin, which is regulating the amount of calcium which is there in the blood. Do you know that calcium levels are checked at two places in the body? What are the two places where calcium levels are checked? Do you know?
No, no.
Okay, so please remember, like in your NEET exam, Neil, if it comes that who regulates the blood calcium levels, please remember it is thyrocalcitonin. Thyrocalcitonin regulates, it just checks that in the blood the calcium levels are maintained. But there is another hormone which maintains the calcium level in the bones, right? And that is parathormone. It is released from parathyroid gland. This is present just below the thyroid gland, right? And you will see that it also maintains the calcium ions. But what is the work? In suppose whenever your this hormone will increase, that means there is more calcium levels in the blood. It is not good for the body. Means neither less is good nor more is good. So what will happen now? It will act on the bones, it will act on the bones and it will start dissolving the bones. You might have heard the term that the doctor says कि आपके bones गल गए हैं, weak हो गए हैं. Have you heard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what is the problem in those people? The parathormone is not working properly. What it is doing, the levels of parathormone are increased. So they are absorbing the bones. They are stimulating the reabsorption of calcium by every, मतलब उनको जहां वो क्या कर रहा है वो ठीक से काम नहीं कर रहा है. बॉडी में ब्लड में कैल्शियम लेवल क्यों बढ़ गया? जो बोन का कैल्शियम था वो भी उसने एब्जॉर्ब कर लिया. जो रीनल टिब्यूल्स का कैल्शियम था वो भी उसने एब्जॉर्ब कर लिया. जितना भी फूड में कैल्शियम आ रहा है वो भी उसने एब्जॉर्ब कर लिया, जबकि ऐसा नहीं होता है. यूजुअली यूजुअली व्हाट हैपेंस, सपोज वी नीड कैल्शियम एट द बोन्स, हमें बोन्स में चाहिए, हमें मसल्स में चाहिए, हमें दांतों को चाहिए, उतना कैल्शियम दिया जाता है. लेकिन अगर पैराथॉर्मोन का लेवल इंक्रीज होगा तो यू विल सी देयर इज अ कंडीशन नोन एज हाइपर कैल्सिमिक हार्मोन. नीट में बहुत बार आ चुका है. कई बार ये लोग हाइपो वर्ड लिख देते हैं. आपको पता होना चाहिए पैराथॉर्मोन हाइपर कैल्सिमिक हार्मोन है. ये हमेशा अगर ये बढ़ेगा तो ब्लड में कैल्शियम का लेवल बढ़ जाएगा. राइट. तो इसीलिए थायरोकैल्सिटोनिन इसके साथ मिलकर के ब्लड में कैल्शियम का काम मेंटेन रखता है. हैव यू गॉट नील?
yes, yes, ma'am.
In case you think that I am fast or any problem, you please tell to me, right? Okay, now
Not
I
sir.
want I want you to explain me the thymus gland.
Okay, just 1 second.
Acha, you can't see my screen, right?
No, no, I'm on the phone so I can see. I'm just reading. That's all.
Okay, okay, okay. And on that day also, I asked you to please message the chapters for which you can give the test. Please do it by today.
Okay, sure, teacher.
Are you available tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning,
Morning or afternoon?
I think this. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon, na? Okay, sure. Tomorrow afternoon. This
What
chemistry is.
time?
Tomorrow I don't have a class, so
I can take at any time, right?
yes, yes.
So 1 p.m. suits you?
Sure, sure.
Okay.
हाँ ठीक है. नहीं नहीं.
Yes, Neil. Done?
Arpita ma'am,
Yes.
Arpita ma'am, this is Neil's mother here.
Yeah.
So, we have actually, I think Neil mentioned to you that we made an Excel sheet of, the tests which Akash
हाँ वही
has. हाँ,
बोला भाई.
तो the chapter sequencing that you will you do it as per the tests which they have? So we just wanted to.
No, see, I don't have a problem. I always ask from Neil that which chapter he wants to do the next.
Okay, okay.
Right? I
ठीक
always ask from Neil only that which chapter he wants to do the next.
ठीक है ठीक है.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is what
Uh,
we've put down in that table. We'll
yeah,
share
yeah,
it
yeah.
with Smita ma'am and then we can discuss.
Oh, okay, okay,
Thank you.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
Like
Thank
for
you.
tomorrow also, Neil can tell me whichever chapter he wants to start. I don't have any issues. Only you
Oh,
tell me so that I can prepare the notes before, right, Neil?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Sorry to disturb.
Done, Neil?
Yes, teacher. Yes.
Okay.
So basically, the thymus gland is a structure which is present between the lungs in the
Okay.
chest cavity behind the
Okay.
sternum bone, on the ventral side of aorta. The thymus gland plays a huge role in the development of the immune system because it is the it is a major character in the differentiation of T lymphocytes which provide immunity. Uh, immunity.
Okay, I want to tell you actually inside our body there are two types of immunity, two types of
Oh,
machines which are working against the pathogens. One is with the help of cells, right? Like we have the WBCs. You are studying since your class 5 that we have WBCs which are fighting, right? We have monocytes, we have macrophages, we have so many cells which are fighting against the infection. So this immunity, it is provided by the T lymphocytes, and it is possible because of a system which is known as cell mediated immune system. But you might have also studied that inside our body, always whenever an antigen attacks, there are special proteins generated known as antibodies. Have you heard about antibodies?
yes, teacher.
So basically, the antibodies which are being generated, that is completely a different defense system, and it is known as humoral immunity. Right. So this you must know that thymus gland is something which is related with the immune system. This you can be asked. Again, I would like to tell you parathormone is very important. Then on the adrenal gland, we have two things, adrenal cortex. Can you name the disease which is caused by the adrenal glands?
Disease caused by adrenaline glands. Uh, this Addison's disease.
Okay. What happens in that?
Basically,
See,
acute
the
weakness and fatigue.
main thing which you must know that whether the thing is happening due to the underproduction of the hormones or due to the overproduction of the hormones. So Addison disease, only one thing you must know that it is due to the underproduction of hormones. Which
Okay.
hormones which are produced by adrenal cortex? Can you name the hormones which are produced by adrenal cortex?
Mm,
See, this outer part, the yellow part is the cortex.
adrenaline and epinephrine and
Yeah,
noradrenaline.
very good. So we have two hormones. Now, can you tell me their work?
Basically, adrenaline and noradrenaline are used in fight or flight responses, and epinephrine is for
Yes.
no, epinephrine.
Basically, they both are combinedly called as emergency hormones because one of them,
No,
suppose they increases the situation, the second one totally balances the solution, right? It makes out a solution. Suppose my heartbeat is increasing, the another hormone will balance it. My respiration rate is increasing. It will balance it. I have started sweating. It will balance it. Right? So, both are the emergency hormones. I have shown you a table, and I remember I asked you that you have to learn that table. Do you remember, Neil?
uh,
I remember,
which
and I remember, Neil, I didn't got the notes of your last class.
yeah, sure, I'll send. I'll send.
Okay, you have prepared, right?
Yes, yes, I've prepared. I've prepared.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, in adrenal cortex, we have done, I have told you, then we have also done that corticoids. Do you remember the function of cortisol? Cortisol, what it was doing, corticoids?
Mm, no, teacher, I haven't prepared this chapter again.
Okay, no problem. Okay, for 2 minutes, you can read it and then tell me.
Okay, okay.
Or you want me to explain you? I can do anyway. I just want your thorough revision so that you can also understand.
Could you tell the page number, teacher, or at least the paragraph? I'll prepare on my own.
Page number. Actually, I think this is the old NCRT. The
Oh,
page
is
is
this the
showing.
new one?
Okay, this is the new one.
No, the one that I have is the new one. I
Okay,
also put it on the side.
it is 337. You can
No,
open
no.
this chapter and see, I will give you a hint. First of all, whenever I talk about the cortex, it has three layers. I will write for you. glomerulosa, fasciculata, and reticularis. These are the three zones, right? Basically, what they are doing, they are releasing corticoids. They can release some mineralocorticoids. They can release some minerals. They can release the glucose, right? So basically, glucocorticoids means the regulation of glucose metabolism. Mineralocorticoids, the maintenance of minerals, it is important. So whenever I talk about corticoids, please remember the all the hormones of adrenal cortex, they are called as corticoids, and they
Oh,
regulate the balance of water. They regulate the balance of electrolytes. Electrolytes means we always study sodium, calcium, chloride, potassium, phosphorus. Every level is being maintained by these mineralocorticoids. They make sure that what is there. Now, if I talk about the glucocorticoids, they stimulate gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis. What is gluconeogenesis?
gluconeogenesis. It's a type of hormone.
No, no, no,
Which
no.
is
It is a
stimulated.
whenever the word is SS means it is a process. The process of formation of glucose other from the carbohydrate source. Suppose my body needs glucose, right? It is not necessary that every time it will go and ask the glycogen only. Sometimes the lipids can also be broken down. Sometimes the proteins can also be broken down because they all give energy, right? Are you getting
Right.
my point? So
Yes.
glucocorticoids, what they do, it stimulate gluconeogenesis. Means basically it is asking the other foodstuffs to generate the energy. Either it is asking to the lipids or it is asking to the proteins, and they are inhibiting. They are making sure that there is a proper utilization of amino acids. What they are doing, it is also helping in the heart. If your cortisol is not working properly, your heart can be malfunctioning, your kidney can become malfunctioning. So that is why whenever a person is having a heart attack or any cholesterol levels, first of all, his corticosteroids levels are checked. Right? It produces the reactions, it produces anti inflammatory reactions and suppresses the immune response. Very, very important. What I mean to say over here is that it is producing cortisol, right? So cortisol, what will happen? It has produced cortisol. What it will do, if there is any kind of problem, it can, your body can react. See, sometimes inflammation, like whenever we get hurt, the place becomes red, there is inflammation. There is no need to worry about that. This is the natural way of the body to react, that there is something which has entered inside and it heals out also on its own. You don't have to do anything if there is a small problem. So over here also the glucocorticoids, what they are doing, they are producing the anti-inflammatory. Suppose if you have any reaction, it is suppressing the immune response. It is stimulating the RBC production. It is stimulating the reabsorption of sodium ions, and it is making sure, like over there I told you, vasopressin was making sure that there is no excess water loss. Similarly, the aldosterone, it is stimulating that there is no sodium loss. Please remember, if they are asking you about the sodium reabsorption, it is aldosterone, right?
Right. Right.
So it is helping in the maintenance of electrolytes, blood volume, blood pressure. There are two, three hormones for which usually it has been asked in the NEET exam. One I told you, it is parath hormone. Then the another one is this adrenal cortex, right?
Right. Right.
Pancreas. Again, it is a mixed gland. Why? Because it has some of the part, it has exocrine in nature and the some part is endocrine in nature. When I say endocrine, it has two main cells, alpha and beta. Can you tell me what is the function of insulin and glucagon?
Insulin is basically for the uh, breaking down of glucose, which can then be converted into ATP and energy. And glucagon is for maintaining blood glucose levels in the body.
See, basically, what you must know that there is one thing which is increasing the glucose levels, right? And there is another thing which is decreasing the glucose levels. So basically what it is doing, this is stimulating glycogenolysis and increasing the blood sugar. Whenever the blood sugar increases, that means hyperglycemia condition is done by glucagon. Please remember, it always increases whenever you need glucose. That is done by glucagon. And insulin, it is something which is regulating the glucose homeostasis. Are you getting my point?
Yes, yes.
So it mainly act and it makes sure that there is a proper glucose level. Hyperglycemic means increase in the blood sugar, and neel means basically that means lowering of the blood sugar, right? It stimulates the conversion of glucose to glycogen. Please remember how it is lowering the blood sugar. Can you tell me how it is lowering the blood sugar? I told you that insulin is lowering the blood sugar. How? Neil.
Uh, yes. Basically, it targets the glucose and it sends it for digestion to the required cells.
Okay. So basically what it does, it sends the blood to the liver cells. Right? It asks the cells,
Yeah.
it doesn't do anything else. It only we have the glycogen stores in the liver. So it sells all the excess glucose to the liver and the adipocytes. Adipocytes. What are adipocytes? What are adipocytes?
Uh,
What are
they,
hepatocytes?
they are the ground material which is present in the blood.
No.
Just
Whenever we talk about adipocytes, these are the fat cells or fat absorbing cells. Right? And whenever I talk about the hepatocytes, what are hepatocytes? Neil, what is hepatocyte?
no, teacher, I don't know.
And please, Neil, some things we have to be very sure. Like, see, I was telling you hepatocytes and I thought that you might know. So I didn't told you. ऐसे में बेटा आपको तुरंत रुक के पूछना है. क्यों? क्योंकि जब नीट का पेपर ही इसी बुक से आना है, तो they can ask you, right? That what is a hepatocyte? Hepa means liver,
Okay,
right?
okay, okay,
Whenever you see, this is a trick to learn in biology. This is a trick how you can learn biology. Whenever the term HEPA comes, you understand it's related to liver. Hepatology, hepatologist, the doctor of liver is known as hepatologist, right?
okay.
Then,
Yes.
in the case of insulin, if the insulin hormone is not working properly and you have continuous higher levels of glucose, then a person can suffer from diabetes mellitus. Okay?
Okay, okay,
Then, testes very, very important. It is a sex organ also, and it is an endocrine gland also. Why it is an endocrine gland? Because it has some special cells which are called as interstitial cells or the seminiferous tubules, which secrete a group of hormones called as androgens, which we call as testosterone. Can you tell me the function of testosterone?
function of testosterone is to enhance the Secondary sexual characteristics in males. For example, growth of facial hair. Uh,
It acts on the central nervous system and it affects the male sexual behavior. Right? This is a line which has to be told by a student who is studying in class 11th. Right? Because this line can be asked in the NEET also. Are you getting my
okay.
point?
Okay.
This is a very important line which is describing the complete function of this hormone. Then if I talk about ovaries, they are again located in the abdomen. Ovary is also a sex organ and it is also producing two hormones known as estrogen and progesterone. Can you tell me the function of estrogen and progesterone?
Uh, Basically, the estrogen, which is secreted by the ovary, it it enhances the secondary sexual characteristics in female by the and it not sure. I don't know the exact definition.
Okay, I didn't ask you the definition. Actually, I asked you the function. So in this case, you must know for estrogen, basically it is important how it is made, how when this hormone is secreted, when if you remember, I told you FSH is responsible for the growth of the follicles, right?
Huh.
Then the follicles they are grown, then what will happen when these follicles they are mature, then they secrete the hormone known as estrogen. This estrogen, what it does, it converts these follicles into a structure known as corpus luteum. This corpus luteum, then it secretes another hormone which is estrogen. So this estrogen, what it was doing, actually it was helping in the growth, it was helping in the developing of the secondary sex organs. It was also helping in developing all the secondary sexual characteristics in the case of a girl. Whatever secondary sex characters like the high pitch voice, broadening of the hips, and generation development of the mammary glands, everything. It is done by the estrogens, the female sexual behavior. Progesterone is known as the pregnancy hormone. You can be asked which is the pregnancy hormone, right? The
Right,
pregnancy
right.
hormone. The girls who are not able to become pregnant, somehow they are having the problem. So basically, they are being given the tablets of combination of progesterone and estrogen. And this was a question of NEET this year only, that a girl is not
Okay.
able to become pregnant, the doctor has advised for a tablet. So what do you think what that tablet will be containing? That tablet will be containing not only the progesterone but also a combination of estrogen also. Why? Because these estrogens are regulating the secondary sexual behavior, right?
Right.
Do you think I'm fast?
No, sir. No, you're not fast.
You are getting every point, right?
I'm getting every point. It's just that I had come back from class a while before I joined this class, so
You are tired.
thoda bahut. Haan.
Okay, but tomorrow 1 p.m. suits you. You are not tired. You
Yes, yes,
won't be
yes.
tired. Okay.
No, no, I won't be tired.
So the heart secretes a very important peptide hormone, which is called as ANF. Please remember, very, very important. Again, this time, this question has been asked multiple times. Which hormone is secreted from the walls of the heart? It is ANF. What is the work of this hormone? To decrease the pressure of the blood. Whenever the blood pressure is increases, what happens? It causes the dilation of the vessels. ये क्या करते हैं भाई, ब्लड फ्लो नहीं कर पा रहा है ठीक से, प्रेशर बहुत ज्यादा है, ठीक है। तो ये क्या करते हैं, ब्लड का प्रेशर बढ़ा देता है। इस हार्मोन का काम है ब्लड के प्रेशर को बढ़ा देना। कैसे? वो डायलेट कर देता है ब्लड वेसल्स को, जिससे कि उसका प्रेशर जो है बढ़ाना मतलब मेंटेन हो जाता है। देन some other hormones which are very important like juxtaglomerular cells of the kidney, they secrete erythropoietin जो कि आरबीसी को बनाने में हेल्प करते हैं। आर यू गेटिंग नील?
Yes, teacher, I'm getting.
देन वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, गैस्ट्रिन, जो कि गैस्ट्रिक ग्लैंड्स पे एक्ट करता है एंड इट स्टिमुलेट्स द सिक्रीशन ऑफ HCl एंड पेप्सिनोजन। You can, we all know that in the stomach we have the HCl and the pepsinogen, but you must know that which hormone is responsible, that is gastrin. Then you must know, we all know that we have water and bicarbonate ions inside the body. Which hormone is responsible for the maintenance of bicarbonate ions? It is secretin. Then again, CCK, very, very important. It is acting on both the pancreas and the gallbladder, and it is secreting the enzyme juice. You can be asked which hormone is responsible for releasing the bile juice. So it is CCK, right? It inhibits the gastric secretion and motility. Are you getting my
Right,
point?
right. Yes, yes.
Now, coming to the mechanism of hormone action, we have done that usually they go and they target their tissues, they bind over there, and it is called as receptors, right? They go and bind to the cell membrane where the receptors are present, and usually you will see that either they sit on the cell membrane or they go inside the nucleus. If they go inside the nucleus, then they are called as nuclear tissue, means they can go inside, and if they are sitting on the cell membrane only, then they are called as that they have the cell membrane receptors. Then you must know that hormones have different groups. Can you tell me what are the different groups of the hormones?
The different groups of hormones. First of all is peptide, then second is steroid, then third is
And I think I asked you
you are
that
made
you
right.
must, yeah, and I informed you कि you must know the examples. आपको पता होना चाहिए कि अमीनो एसिड डेरिवेटिव्स में कौन से हार्मोन आते हैं, स्टेरॉइड्स में कौन से हार्मोन आते हैं, राइट? डू यू रिमेम्बर?
Yes, yes.
ओके, नाउ those hormones which cannot cross the cell membrane, they generate some secondary messengers. You must know cyclic AMP, calcium IP3. These are the secondary messengers which they generate. And then we have some receptors which can cross the cell membrane also. For them, the examples are steroid hormones, right? Like this is the best example which is given over here. This diagram you can be asked in the exam also. Is that clear, Neil?
Yes, teacher, clear.
I'm giving you 5 minutes. Please go through it, everything to the summary and everything. And please ask me if you have any kind of questions. And also tell me which chapter you want to do tomorrow.
Okay, teacher. Teacher, if possible, could you, through Sushmita ma'am, send me the ऐसा एक table such as सब hormones दिया हुआ है, the gland which secretes them and their importance, ऐसा कुछ table मिल सकता है?
I didn't got it. You want the notes of this chapter?